Welcome to the Demon Princess Show.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to my area. I have a special project lined up for today. But first, I wanted to welcome everyone to 2003, where the iPod 3rd Gen just came out. That's right. And if you're lucky enough to get the one with a 40 gig hard drive, oh, you're sitting real pretty. I know that for sure. And with that $500 price tag, oh, I bet everyone was really jealous. I mean, with that price, the things you could have got instead, but no, you got something better. You got the iPod. So, my plan is to do a upgrade. Now, there's not too many videos on YouTube that do anything with the 3rd Gen, surprisingly. Even though it's the most retro looking iPod out of all of them. Yeah, the 5th Gen, you could have pictures on there, you could have video, the audiobooks worked better. But this one, the buttons lit up red. And it just looked cool. So, that's what we're doing today. Now, I got this off of eBay for $69. And all working. The hard drive still worked. I used it better part of a year. And then slowly I started getting all the other parts. And so altogether about $200 worth, but still below what the retail price of the 3rd Gen was originally. And with 3 times the amount of space. So, I am putting in a SD card, 128 gigabytes compared to the 40. And so, I will have so much music. I don't even think I have that much music to put on there, but so you may be asking, why use outdated technology? Why the iPod? Well, I don't know about you, but I don't want to be 100% reliant on the internet to enjoy my music. On top of that, I don't want to have to pay a bill or have to suffer through advertisements. I want all my music, even the music that you can't seem to find on Spotify or other places. I want to have my whole library, my whole collection in my pocket. And knowing that if the zombie apocalypse comes to be and the government falls and the fires break out and cats and dogs fall from the sky, I'll still have my tunes. That's right. I'm planning for the big one. And nothing's going to stop me. Or at least, nothing's going to stop me until my batteries die and I have no way to charge them. So, that's why the iPod. And anyway, I'm not really the biggest fan of the whole cell phone thing. I never have been. I get the convenience and it can do this, it can do that, but if you really look at it and use other things aside from it, a lot of times those other things just work better. But I'm getting a little off track. That's going to be a whole different video. But this is one of those components, the music. And aside from doing this upgrade, which I have to say, it wasn't that difficult. Yeah, it took me about 3 hours, but I was kind of going off of the information I had and then figuring it out as I went. So if I were to do it again, it wouldn't have taken so long. Now, I wasn't sure about the SD card. If I needed to format it ahead of time to FAT32, but when I had it installed and I had the iPod hooked to the computer, it formatted it on its own. But the problem I had was that when I went to iTunes looking for it to show the iPod, it wasn't coming up. I would set it to update. It would tell me not to remove the cable, and I would just let it sit there and nothing seemed to be happening. So I would unplug it, plug it back in, check the cables, take the card in and out. I did this a few times. I even took the card out completely and put it in the laptop just to make sure that it was set for FAT32, which it was, and it even got labeled as iPod. So I put it back in the iPod, and then it showed up. So I can't really say what exactly caused it to not show up the first time I put the card in, but it works now. And so after that, I put the whole thing back together and started transferring my music. I want to talk about the transferring of the music. Make sure you make a backup folder, because the way iTunes converts your music, it will totally mess up everything. What I mean by that is the way that I name my music. I have the artist, then I have a dash, and then the name of the song. And that's just how I do all my music. But what iTunes does is that it changes all the file names to just be the name of the song. And then it puts it in a separate folder which reads the name of the artist. And so you end up with how many different artist names that you do have. in each of its folders. Which, oh, believe me, when you have 1,000 or close to 1,000 songs, there's no going back on that one. And in fact, that's what happened to me. So I had to go through all my music, rename everything, and to call it tedious would be a huge understatement. But I eventually did, and I cleaned up a lot of the album names, and because a lot of it was under like greatest hits and that kind of thing. So I wanted it to be as cleaned up as possible. Because I'm putting this huge archive on the iPod. And for my library at least, I have music for like every decade, from the 1920s all the way up to now. And so I want all of it to be the right names. And one thing about the third gen I want to talk about, though, is that the audiobook function, I don't know if there's a workaround for it, but it really doesn't separate a audiobook from music. It sees it as music. So when you shuffle, and you just want music, it can pick an audiobook, which is something I don't want. So you can either make a playlist that try to, separate. And that's kind of what I did with all the different decades. So it's like, if I'm feeling like 80s music, I'll pick that playlist, or 2000s, And so that's how I have all that organized. But just heads up on that. And if you don't know a lot about the third gen, you can't view pictures, there's no video. It's just the music. And that was one of the reasons why I picked it, along with some other ones. And so, yeah, that's about it as far as that goes. So, the question that I had for a long time was, can you actually do a 128 gig SD card? And answer is definitely yes. So, if you're thinking about this, or if you've done this, then definitely leave a comment. Love to hear from you. And yeah, just enjoy the music. Enjoy it without the frustration and headaches that you get with normal music play, the way it is right now with a lot of the other devices that we have. And as you can see right there, yes, it is working. So, thank you for watching. Bye.